pretty much everybody on this grid set their time this morning. New lap record here at Circuit of the Americas for Matthew Skoltz, 2:11.765.
Cam also broke that previous lap record, Greg, and Blake Davis was able to sneak through and get third. PJ, Kayla, and Brandon Posh. Really, really good job from Brandon Posh with the new team that he's on, the Doritos team. And Tyler Scott, Jake Lewis, Josh Hayes, they're ninth. Torrin Collins, Aiden Sneed, and Corey Alexander will fill out row number 4. Then we're going to go back to Teague Hobbs. Greg, Martin Cardenas, gotta love seeing that. Linares, David Anthony DeLeon, and Chase Black will be on the outside of row 6. Look at this field. We have De Silva, Max Van in 20th, Jarrett Nassani, Enriquez, Rigg, and Owen Williams. Then we've got Monk, Zaragoza, Mags, Erstein, Horney, and Vandal are going to be outside of the last row. Oh, sorry, Greg, got one more.
Yeah.
Hayden Dietrich and Joel Oman there in 32nd spot.
32 riders qualifying for this race here at Circuit of the Americas. And away we go. Matthew Skoltz with a good launch from pole position. As we head into turn number 1, his teammate is Blake Davis on this track racing Yamaha R9s. And then Cameron Peterson will funnel into 3rd spot as they head down the hill towards the S's.
Yeah, Greg, and you're going to see everybody makes it through there really nicely. You saw Matthew, the second he got that start, Greg, he moved over to the left to not give anybody any thoughts of getting out front. Right now, if Matthew could look in a rearview mirror, he'd see his teammate right behind him, and that's going to give him a really good feeling. Cam Peterson there in 3rd. Then it looks like it's going to be PJ Jacobson. Both the Rahal Ducatis got off the line together, but now they've been separated by a couple other riders just between them.
So Blake Davis, who qualified 3rd, we really hadn't seen a lot of him in practice and qualifying so far this weekend. But keep in mind, this is still the first year of this R9. And Blake Davis, compared to Matthew Skoltz in terms of, Jay, just, overall experience.
Yeah.
I mean, being able to give feedback to his team. They're working at it, but all they need is a good race setup. So down the back straightaway they go for the first time. We're going to see if anybody's got some draft and pass maneuvers
Blake's
in
close
mind.
enough to do a draft and pass on Matthew, so you can see he's going to pull out of that draft now. I don't know if he was edged close enough. It looks like he is, though, Greg. He's going to take a shot. Oh, he doesn't. He's not quite there. So Matthew cuts back across in front of Blake. Cam Peterson there. You saw Josh Hayes make an early bid as well. Looks like it's Ty Scott on the 70 on a completely different livery for that Vision Well N4 XR Suzuki team. More of an old school livery. 40th anniversary, I believe it is, Greg.
Yeah, 40th anniversary of the GSXR.
Looks great. The whole team looks really, really good. Uniformed up in those colors. So, got a couple of Ducatis, couple of Yamahas, and a Suzuki there in the top 5.
And keep in mind, it was Jake Lewis last year who won a race here at Circuit of the Americas on the GSXR. Oh, no.
Got a couple guys down.
So,
that's Max Van.
Yeah, the 48.
I believe it's the 48, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. So,
and, I'm going to guess, is this Torrin? Nope, it's Jarrett Nassani.
All right, so Max Van on the Vision Wheel M4 X-Star Suzuki, the number 59 of Nassani on the Altus Motorsports machine. He is down. Back to race action up front. Come across the stripe. By the way, fastest bike down the back straightaway, Cameron Peterson in a draft, 170 miles an hour on these middleweight bikes. He converts that into a 2nd place maneuver around Blake Davis, the 22. So good move by the 45 of Cam Peterson on the Celtic Economy Lube and Tire Warhorse HSBK
Wow, look
Ducati.
at Blake, though. Blake just stuffed it right back underneath him. He was able to use a lot of exit speed out of that turn 2 to stuff his way back through on Cam Peterson. That's only going to give Matthew more room. Greg, the one I'm really confused on, we'll have to figure out after the race, is Brandon Posh. Started 6th, 13th on the first lap. So maybe he got shoved around a little bit up in turn 1 and we didn't see it at the beginning.
So for PJ Jacobson, 2nd in this championship. Really looking ahead for him, figuring out what he's got under the tank. So Blake Davis right now is fighting for 2nd place as Cameron Peterson goes up the inside. We'll see if Davis tries to cut it back. Jamie, what do you have on the 22?
Well, a couple of remarks that you've made about Blake Davis, the fact that we didn't see a lot of him in practice and qualifying, but also the fact that he seems to have a lot of pace out there in the early stages of this race, and that really sets with what the mindset was that he told me back in the paddock before getting ready to come out here. He said he was frustrated after qualifying, especially this morning. He went back and he looked at the splits with his crew chief, Xavi Flores, and really felt like there was a lot more left on board that Yamaha that he didn't get to take full advantage of, but he had a lot of confidence in the race pace, and he knows that his job is to go out there and help Matthew Skoltz. His job job is also to go out there and continue to improve himself as a rider.
And they're the easiest ones to make a mistake. And now you see he's going to have to race Kayla. As Kayla looks to go down the inside, a Ty up at the top of turn number 1. So they're going to filter their way back through. Ty's got some work to do to catch back up to that leading 4 riders. These guys both were able to get under that lap record from back then.
All right, so Cameron Peterson not going under the brakes on Schultz. Up the hill, very complicated corner in turn number 1. But he goes 2:12.5
through. Matthew Schultz had the fastest sector 4 lap time.
Oh, man, huge high side for Cameron Peterson.
That is a big one. That is going to be an off throttle, trying to get the bike turned. High side, that was, we don't see, look at it again, Greg, because he's not quite to the apex. You're going to see the bike start to turn just like right now. See that? There was like almost like a little bit of a bump. So he was probably just in the process of picking up the throttle as that bike went through something on the inside of the turn that was enough to get the bike going sideways. Matthew's going to go by now looking at his board and wonder what has gone on behind him. As Josh Hayes also looks like he's come to grief somewhere out there.
And the BPR Racing Yamaha R9 as well. Here's another. Oh, yeah, Hayes. That looks like a motor expired for him.
Yep.
And we talked about how this racetrack last year impacted the championship for the 15. He's still racing hard for it. Hopefully it was just a one-off incident into that false neutral and not something problematic moving forward for the 15. High 214s and low 213 range. And now they've settled into this battle.
It's again,
PJ
same thing. Just can't, he's having trouble just finding what would be probably second gear there, Greg, on the Ducati. I'm not sure if they're back shifting that bike all the way back to first, and that's where he's just getting stuck in between the neutrals. Yeah, you can see it there. He's trying to get it into that gear, Greg, and it just wasn't going for him. So, yeah, Greg, you really depend on it. What you got to remember is these guys are riding on such a knife edge that if things just don't work perfectly, it just is enough to throw you off. Then you get a rider like PJ Jacobson with as much experience as he goes stuffing it up underneath Blake Davis and the S's. You see a guy like that. Look at these guys just going back and forth. Matthew's going to have a 10-second lead probably after this lap now.
Yeah, really.
But with a guy like PJ, Blake Davis, Matthew Schultz, all our top guys, when something like that happens, they have the wherewithal to be able to control it.
Like what I'm seeing from Blake Davis, the Virginia native, having some fun out there with PJ Jacobson out of New York.
So right there, Greg, I was watching PJ's left foot. He's spacing his shifts out a little bit more than maybe normal. You see a shake of the head from PJ, so he's having to do something maybe a little bit different than he would normally have, and I'm sure if we get to talk to him in the winner's circle, he'll say something about they were fighting a little bit of an issue. You can see a lot of times when a rider rolls the throttle off, they'll start going down through the shifts as quickly as they can.
That's going to slow him down a little bit, depending on where they race, and there goes Ty Scott on that cool GSXR 750 Division Wheel M4 X-Star Suzuki.
Just couldn't quite get it stopped, could he?
No.
So, you know, that's a great battle. You got two great battles here.
Crazy good. And down the back straightaway they go. And Blake's going to be able to draft and pass down the back straightaway here at Circuit of the Americas. So a nice move by Blake Davis. He's got position up the inside.
Greg,
he'll have the braking, but PJ just rolls off the lever around the outside.
He's going to run wide here, though. And you see him. Greg, these guys are losing a second a lap to the guys to the two behind. Just look at, they're just stuffing and restuffing.
He likes the thing to go sideways. PJ He's not comfortable when the wheels are in the line.
Ty's wide again. PJ knows, though, doesn't he, Greg? I mean, PJ literally knows those 5 points that he could lose to Matthew are big. You don't want to lose 7 or 8 here. You want to only lose those 5. And here it is. Blake goes back up underneath them with 2 corners to go. Should be white flag this time by for our leader, Matthew Schultz, which these guys are in the last corner now. Final lap, Greg. These guys are it's going to be a fun battle to watch.
For Schultz, 13-7. Now enjoying his time out front. He's using around that section on the R9. If that was an R6, it would be screaming through there.
Yeah, he's going back to first gear here. So that was all second gear there. It's going to be first. He'll do 2 quick upshifts here. Go second, third. There, you see it there?
Yep.
So he's going to short shift it up to third, cruise around here. But this is what he's been doing the whole race. And the Strack Yamahas look like they're upshifting to fourth just on the exit of this corner. He might just roll it through here in third. Nope, there's fourth. Back a couple gears. Pretty easy for Matthew. 9-second lead. It's going to feel good for him.
Out of his control is the battle behind him, and he's going to be wanting his teammate to put himself between basically Matthew and PJ Jacobson. But onto the front straightaway we go for Matthew Schultz, and to the line and wheel in the air, and another victory for Schultz in Supersport. And now the battle for second place as Blake Young trying to take points away from his rival PJ Jacobson. To the line they go, and it's going to be Blake Davis by 1/10 of a second, and it's going to be Ty Scott over Kayla Yakov.
Yeah, those two tomorrow could be a factor in this race as well. I think Kayla and Ty Scott, as well as we're hoping he's okay. Cam Peterson, they'll all be in that fight for the podium as well.
He was just chopping it up with PJ Jacobson there for a while. I mean, it looked to me, JP, like they might have been having some fun there.
As well, that could be all wrapped up by tomorrow afternoon for him, and good way to finish off the season as well in these final 2 rounds for Blake, with a performance like this, Rog, just to put him back to the forefront and giving himself the chance in these final few rounds to have that momentum.
Yeah, and for Blake, he even mentioned it, that crash really did separate the group early on. I know Matt was going to be tough to beat regardless. But for Blake, just a good ride. It's been an impressive weekend for Blake. He kind of struggled a little bit early on Friday, and he's kept chipping away at it. And he's just been getting closer and closer. Now he finds himself on the podium.
Yeah, he's been top 5 in pretty much every race for the second half of this season, and important to get yourself into a fight with PJ and for the track team to come out on top of it as much as anything else. But for Blake, this is a performance that's going to give him a good confidence lift. For PJ Jacobson, though, a lot of work to do tomorrow.
Yeah, he got some work, but PJ even said on the podium he gave it everything he had, and really that's all you can do. And him and the team will get together tonight, and they'll try to find out, look at the data and look at the splits, maybe go back and watch the race on the video and see where they can improve.
Yeah, but as we look at our results, it is those 3. And then Ty Scott, Kayla Yakov had a ding-dong battle, and then Collins, Posh, Sneed, Cardenas, and Hobbs in the mix.
This championship's not over yet. There's still a lot up for grabs, and both those guys are going to want to try to win this one.